This is the Reporter's Notebook, hosted by Elaine Shane.
Welcome to this entry in the DTN Reporter's Notebook. DTN Senior Ag Meteorologist Bryce Anderson joins us today, and we look at the summer weather outlook and how it's going to affect crops. Bryce, what's the main driver for the summer weather?
Well, Elaine, as we've seen over the last year and a half, the big feature that has been such a player in making our weather the way it is, for better or for worse, is the presence of large level upper atmosphere, high latitude, blocking high pressure over the western half of Canada. And this is one big reason why we've had some very cold and wet conditions in much of the northern part of the Corn Belt and into the Canadian prairies during this season. It's also the reason why there's been such a powerful jet stream that has kept moisture away from the southwestern plains. And the evolution of that, as it decides to maybe relax a little bit and allow for maybe a little bit warmer air to slide northward, is going to be the big feature. Now, I should mention that with the presence of that block, we have seen quite a bit of rain develop over the Midwest, and so that certainly has improved soil moisture as we go into the heart of the growing season.
So you told us a bit of how it has affected us for the last few months. How's the summer pattern going to affect the summer prospects?
Well, I think that what we are looking at is the likelihood that there's going to be a much lower chance for any real strong heat wave over the heart of the Corn Belt this year. I don't think we're going to see that. In all likelihood, it is shaping up to be a summer when temperatures are going to be at least near normal, maybe even a little bit below normal, kind of similar to what we had during the heart of the growing season a year ago. And that's going to be over much of the Midwest. It looks like because of the terrific dry conditions we've got in the southwestern plains, that part of the U.S. is going to continue with an above normal temperature pattern, and then that is going to, of course, continue on west into the far west as well. But for most of the Corn Belt, we're looking at basically near normal, maybe even a little bit below normal on temperatures. And then as far as moisture is concerned, maybe a chance for some above normal in the far southwestern plains later in the summer. Until then, still having trouble really getting things going, while the Midwest near normal. But again, there's a lot of soil moisture supply going into the real heart of the summer season, and so that's an obvious benefit.
You mentioned the different regions, so where are conditions going to be the worst?
They are going to be the worst in the southwestern plains and then on west into the far west. And thinking about primary row crop areas, the southwestern plains, that's where with this historic level drought that we've seen for almost 4 years now, that section of the country is going to continue to struggle in terms of really getting any improvement until possibly later this summer.
So bad news to that area.
It really is.
So we've heard that there might be El Nino development. How does this play into everything?
Well, I think that the main thing to think about from our standpoint is that El Nino is going to be probably a non-factor for this growing season. And I want to emphasize that because it looks like El Nino will develop later this calendar year, but I don't think it's going to show up until probably into August and September. Now, at that point, we could get some better rain chances in the southwestern plains for soil moisture, for wheat and so forth, and maybe a little bit of late season moisture for soybean areas and for soybean moisture. But as far as El Nino coming in and kind of riding in to save the day for the moisture situation in the southwestern plains, it just doesn't look like that's going to be the case. The Pacific is not acting that way right now.
Not a factor this year, then.
No, it's not, yeah.
Thanks, Bryce.
You're welcome.
With Bryce Anderson, I'm Elaine Shane, and that's today's entry in the DTN Reporter's Notebook. Thanks for joining us.
This has been the Reporter's Notebook from the DTN Progressive Farmer Newsroom.